What you need to know about Trump's new tariffs and the coming trade war. In a time of global uncertainty, economic volatility, climate disruption, and fragile alliances, the United States has chosen escalation over diplomacy. President Donald Trump's newest tariff plan isn't just bold, it's dangerously reckless. With little regard for expert analysis or long-term strategy, this move threatens to ignite a global trade war, destabilize markets, and impose financial pain on the very Americans he claims to protect. It's being sold as strength, but critics call it economic nationalism at its worst. Reactionary, political, and disconnected from the realities of modern supply chains. In this video, we break down what Trump's new tariffs really mean, who benefits, who suffers, and why this policy might not just be a misstep, but a deliberate gamble with global consequences. Part 1. The big announcement. Trump stood before cameras, flanked by symbols of American labor. But the reality behind the optics is far more cynical. Announcing tariffs of up to 60% on imports from China, Mexico, and the EU, the president reignited the same failed playbook from his first term. He called it a correction, but in truth, it's a campaign strategy disguised as economic policy. Trump knows tariffs make headlines. He knows they stir populist outrage, and most importantly, he knows they divert attention away from deeper issues he has no real plan to solve. His rhetoric, decades of abuse and globalist betrayal, isn't just outdated, it's misleading. Because what Trump never mentions is who really pays the price. Working-class Americans already struggling under inflation, debt, and a post-pandemic recovery. Part 2. What are tariffs really? Here's what Trump doesn't tell you. Tariffs aren't paid by foreign governments. They're paid by US businesses. And ultimately, they're paid by you, the consumer. A 60% tariff on electronics doesn't punish China. It punishes the teenager who can't afford a new laptop. It punishes the single mom who pays more for groceries, appliances, or school supplies. Tariffs are not surgical. They're sledgehammers. They create uncertainty, distort prices, and spark retaliations that spiral far beyond control. And worse, they often don't achieve their stated goals. Trump's narrative implies that tariffs will magically rebuild American industry. But history and hard data show us otherwise. Manufacturing doesn't just come home because of a tax. It requires infrastructure, education, long-term investment, none of which this policy includes. Part 3. Economic flashpoints. Markets don't react to confidence. They react to chaos. And Trump's new tariffs are chaos in a suit. Stock markets plunged. Corporate forecasts were slashed. CEOs called emergency meetings. Supply chain managers braced for the worst. This isn't leadership, it's disruption. And it's disruption with no clear end game. The global economy is a delicate ecosystem. Pull one thread and the whole thing unravels. Trump pulled multiple. His defenders argue he's playing hardball with China. But what's the real cost? Broken alliances, damaged credibility, and rising costs that hurt those least able to absorb them. Part 4. Allies or enemies. Trump's tariffs don't just attack economic adversaries, they alienate allies. The EU, Canada, and Mexico aren't threats. They're partners. Yet Trump treats them like competitors in a zero-sum game. His actions undermine decades of diplomatic progress, erode trust, and invite other powers, especially China, to fill the vacuum of American leadership. While Trump promises to restore US strength, he's isolating the country. The result? A more fractured world where cooperation is replaced by confrontation. Part 5. Winners and losers. There are winners, but they're few, and they're loud. Some US manufacturers may see a short-term boost, but the overwhelming majority of industries, retail, tech, logistics, agriculture, are taking hits they can't afford. And the people Trump claims to fight for? They're the ones who will pay more, earn less, and face layoffs. We spoke to business owners, warehouse workers, and farmers. Their message is clear. This isn't patriotism. It's pain. Part 6. Historical context. History doesn't repeat itself, But it rhymes, and Trump's tariffs echo some of the worst mistakes in modern economic history. From Smoot-Hawley in the 1930s to Trump's first trade war in 2018, tariffs have consistently failed to deliver lasting prosperity. The 2018 experiment resulted in higher consumer prices, billions in bailouts for farmers, and a trade deficit that never truly shrank. Yet here we are, doing it again, expecting different results. That's not strategy. That's political theater. Part 7. The Bigger Game. Let's be honest, this isn't about trade. It's about power. And it's about distraction. Trump knows he can't win on nuance. He wins on noise. Tariffs give him a stage to perform strength, even when the policy behind it is weak. Meanwhile, the real game is being played elsewhere, in AI, green tech, global currency, and energy. Trump's focus on steel and manufacturing is nostalgic, not strategic. While he wages tariff wars, other nations are investing in the future. America, we're stuck in a feedback loop of slogans and short-termism. Outro. So where does this leave us? With a trade policy built on blame instead of strategy. With an economy vulnerable to retaliation. With a public asked to pay more for the illusion of strength. Trump's tariffs might sound tough, but when you peel back the layers, they reveal a plan driven by politics, not prosperity. This isn't leadership. It's leverage used carelessly, and we all live with the consequences. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Are you buying Trump's vision? Or are you one of the many Americans paying the price? Subscribe for more deep dives, and share this with someone who still thinks tariffs are just about China.